Let's understand about KPI cards in Power BI. So if we go to our insert area, inside there if we do a drop down, you can find a lot of KPI cards. So let's select this single KPI card here. When we do the selection, this shows us a single field value in which we want to show the data. So we can choose that. So right now we are choosing and we want to show our revenue. So we click on revenue, and when we click on here, you can see this KPI card is getting loaded, and this will show our entire revenue here, as you can see now. So let me just arrange it a little bit, and after showing the revenue we can update its name as well. So let's show this in a capital letter. So this is our revenue. Also, when we click here, there is an option of add or remove visual elements. So if we click on that, and inside more options, you can see a lot of visual options are there through which we can play around it. So let's do some of the adjustments to it. So let's go, and we don't want the title. Let's go to our call out values. Inside call out values, the color which we want to have is right now this color, which is #118 DFF, which we will be using. So we have updated the color. After updating the color, we also want to change the font. So instead of DIN font, let's use Segoe UI. So Segoe UI became our font, and at the same time let's reduce the font size from 45 to around I can say 30. We will see that how this fits into our chart. Instead of 30, I think we can make it up to 35. And also let's go further, and display units is asking, so we don't want to show it in decimals and we want to show it in thousands. So we can just click on here thousands, and this number is already in thousands, so this is 356,000. After that, the value decimal places are there, so we don't want to show any decimal places, so this is 0 at the moment. And do we want to make it bold? So then we can do it bold, and post that if we just go here and inside the category label, do we want to show the category label? If I turned it off, then this revenue label just gets removed. And for this revenue label, let's convert its color to white because our background would be black. And when we are done with that, right now this is not going to backwards, so we just need to remove the background of this KPI card. So again we go to call out value. Inside call out values, let's see where is our background. Let me just go and see where the background can be seen. This is size and height, background. So this is background, so I don't want the background, so I just off that. And when we just put it here, let's make it a little bit smaller, and let's adjust it from the top as well. And once we do that, you can clearly see that this is looking very stunning, that our revenue is 356k at the moment. After creating one KPI card, we can repeat the same steps using the insert model, but at the moment, instead of doing that, let's copy the same KPI card to create different other KPI cards which we want. And right now this build area is taking our space, so we go to view, and inside view we are just going to hide this format pane at the moment, and we don't want to show this build as well, and whenever we will require that, we will just call them out. So right now if we are having this data, and along with revenue we want to show our cost as well. What is our total cost? So inside our measures table, are we having our total cost? So I can see that we are not having our total cost. So what we can do, we can go to our revenue measure which we have created previously, and I can copy that measure, and inside measure table we can create a new measure here. And when we do that, this will get loaded, and I paste the revenue measure. Let's give it name as cost. And what this measure will do, this will do a sum x from the sales data table. This sales data table is containing all the data of sales, and then we are getting the quantity from sales data table, and instead of getting the product price, we should be fetching the product quantity, then it will show us the product cost. So And if you want to understand the revenue formula, how it has been created, we have created a previous video as well. So we can go and select product cost here. Now this formula is complete and we press enter. Once we do that, you can see our cost measure has been created, and let me just go here. Yeah, now inside this KPI card, let's go and add our data points. So instead of revenue, we want to show our cost. So we go here and select our cost, and you can see $139,000 is our total cost, and the KPI other elements are quite bit right. So let's go and put it here as a cost. On the third line item, we want to show what is our total profits. So if we go to our measures table again and create a new measure, so that measure will be for our total profits. So at the moment, wait for a second, we go and write it as a profit, and inside that profit, how we will be calculating it, so it will be a revenue, and I can do a minus, but instead of yeah, let's do the minus, revenue minus cost, and we do a enter here. Once we get that, this is our profit here. We can do a copy of our KPI measure again here, and inside that we can just go and select our profit as a measure. So we write it as profit, and finally we got our profit, which is 217K. Now this profit is actually our I can say, if you add both of them, then you will finally get your revenue. After that, we want to show what is our return rate in our FinSec company, because a lot of customers return the product if they don't like. So we go here and we write as return rate, and this KPI which we have already created can be used here. So we copy our profit KPI, and inside this profit KPI, let's remove the profit from here and add our return rate. And when we do that, you can see this is showing 0K, because we have converted our numbers into thousands. So let's go to our call out values again here, and inside these call out values, we don't want to display units in thousands, we want it to be auto. Now you can see it's showing 8%, and if you want to show some decimal points, then we can choose that. Right now we don't want to show any decimal points, so we select it as 8% return. Now these 4 KPI cards have been created successfully. Similarly, we need to go to our customer dashboards to create the KPI cards. For now that, we won't be just repeating the same efforts. What simply we will do, we'll go and copy these 4 KPI cards, and whatever out of them we can use that. But before that, let's go to our selection pane first. So we are going to view, and this is our selection pane here. So we are here, and right now you can see there are 4 cards, card. These 4 cards are here. So let's do one thing, let's combine all those 4 cards. So we are just grouping them, and we have just selected them at the moment, and this group has been created. Now let's give it a name of KPI values. And what we can do, we can just select both of the details of KPI cards and KPIs values together and group them as well. So we group them and make a bigger group stating this is our KPIs, and if you go inside that, you can see there are KPI values and KPI cards. Inside KPI cards there are 4 shapes, inside KPI values there are 4 shapes as well. So this is a better way to organize the data at the moment. Now what we can do, we can go and select this KPIs, and let's do one thing. Yes, so let's values again and do a Control C, and then let's go to customer dashboard again and do a Control V. Then all the data points are showing here. Now when these are showing here, with these details we need to feed for customers only. So for customers, we don't want to show 4 KPI values. For customers, we want to show only 2 KPI values. So what we will do, we will go here and just ungroup them. So right now this is our one of the KPI card, and these are our KPI cards values. So these two data points are here. So let's do a ungrouping of them. So if we click on this and we can ungroup them. Similarly, we can go to our card here and we can ungroup them as well. One second. Now we don't need these 4 data, so we just delete those. Yeah. So for customers, right now we want to show our total customers here. So we select this, and inside that let's go to our revenue, and are we having our total customers data in our measure? So let's go and see our total customers, are we having that? So if we write total customers, there are no customers. So let's do one thing, let's create a measure here. So we go and do a new measure. And inside this new measure, let's write its name as unique customers, and we want to use a function as distinct count, and our customer is staying inside our customer lookup table, and there is an item named as customer key. So these customer key are showing the unique list of customers, and we selected that, and once we do that, our new measure unique customer has been created. Now let's go to our data here and let's select our unique customers. So I write here unique customers, and you can see we are having 18,000 approximate unique customers. Now instead of writing this name unique customers, let's write it as customers, because our users want to see the name as customers. So we have written it as customers. Let's go and try to find out what was the average value of each customers which we were having. So let me just update it. I think it has not been updated. Customers, I have pressed enter. Now this is showing. Let's show the average value or average revenue per customers, which we call ARPU, ARPU, average revenue per user or per customer. So we go to our measures table again. Let's go and create a new measure, and inside this let's create a, I can say, average revenue per customer, and inside that we can write as the revenue, and we can use the function of divide. Then revenue needs to be divided by our number of customers. So these are unique customers, and if there is no data, we want to divide it by, or we want to show the data as 0. So this is average revenue per customer. Now let's come here and let's update this data point, and instead of cost we want to show the average revenue per customers, and we can call it as ARPU, average revenue per user, or ARPC, we can call it as ARPC as well. So based upon different nomenclature which are used inside companies, you can use that, or we can simply write as revenue per customer, and let's do a enter, and you can see this is showing a 0k because our number format was in thousands, right? So let's go to our visual elements and more options. Now let's go to our call out values, because this is calling out as in thousands. So let's not use the display units in thousand and use the auto number. So we can see our average revenue per customer is approximate $20, which may be right, which may not be right. It all depends upon the type of product, type of industry, and type of company. But I hope you understood the basics about how we can use the KPI cards, and thank you so much for watching.